All right, welcome second years to another lesson. This is a combined lesson 64 and 65, Radio 2H, Radio 223, part-timers, where we will be concluding our promotions and queue builders execution and strategy lessons. Lesson 66 is just a revision. It's basically all the lessons put in one. So if you do look at that, you can see the recap, and I'll be not creating a video for that. I'll just move on to lesson 67. Right. Okay, you can find that in this, or should I say the reference to this lesson, Next Level Radio. That is from Nash and Cullinan, and that's chapter 6, 6.4, play along factors, and that's on page 227 to 228. Okay, so as you can see, it's going to be quite a short lesson. Both lessons are quite short lessons this week. And also just remember just a little bit of a disclaimer. I know that you obviously have just come off the F3. The S1 will be soon available. I will record one of those lessons for that, like just a bit of a walkthrough. And then again, please make sure that you can always understand or know that you can contact me for anything when it does come to understanding the content of the lessons or for the questions on your assignment. We just have another month to go in terms, just over a month to go, and we're done with the year, and hopefully we will see you next year. All right, let's not get too ahead of ourselves or too ahead of ourselves. Let's look at strategies, and like I said, closing this whole this journey that we've been taking when it comes to promotions and looking at how they increase our listenership and what obviously the advantages are for both passive and active listeners. We have discussed that before already. But if you have a look at this first slide, following the following example that shows a strategy for creating effective promotions that was written for a South African commercial radio station. Well, the aim was to simply do four things, right? To one, entertain the passive listener, which you do understand these things already, engage the radio contest and research participants, increase the digital interactions, as well as increase the listenership. Just remember as a recap, increasing listenership has to be or has regard or is regarding listeners that are of the same demographic. So we are attracting more listeners of the same type, not listeners from other stations per se. Increasing digital interactions as we are obviously putting together marketing strategies that include a couple more dimensions than just what happens on air, but more off air. Understanding that with a passive listener, they must be entertained, no matter what is happening. If they never ever interact, if they never send a voice note, if they never enter competition, whatever is on air needs to be entertaining for the listener that is just listening for fun, right? And for enjoyment. And then they're engaging, obviously, radio contests and research participants there where we know we have to get some data collection from everything that we do, or as much as we do as possible in terms of getting that information we're going to do. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this, I want you to pull up with me. I'm going to go just pull up example 6C on page 224. So let's read it out. Okay, so if you look on page 224, let's go through the example. And example 6C, the promotional strategy 2018, the ultimate queue builder. XFM has access to three databases, the XFM app database. So there's about 28,000 people that are subscribed to the app or that have downloaded the app. The SMS and email database, about 20K. Their Twitter community, about 978.7K. And the Facebook and Instagram database, which is around about 330,000 for Facebook and 68 for the Instagram database. So these are just in terms of people that they could contact, I'm saying could have a reach to. And then, we kind of want to analyze it a little bit further. Each week of the promotion, XFM Programming wants to use one of these databases to push tune in by sending specific insight information to each database to give members of each database information on what and when to tune in and what to listen out for. All right, so the aim is to get listeners to tune in at specific times. Hopefully, this will drive tune in, so tune into the radio station, obviously, and help with recall for diary respondents. There's going to be prizes here. So there's three all-inclusive African experiences, which will be nice, and one New Year's Eve NYE in New York experience, which is super cool. If you've ever seen how New Year's Eve is celebrated, I think it's on Rockefeller Square. I think it's in Times Square. Oh my word, that's it. I mean, like, what a dream come true. Anyway, to go and see that. Okay, week one of the promotion. Let's have a look here. Promotions that generate excitement around the prizes and drive joining of the databases. So we can look at, let's say, some posts that kind of are teasers around, like telling us what the promotion is about. Maybe saying, obviously, make sure that you follow us, or you download the app, or you share whatever it is. But you enter basically by joining on either Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can download the app. Will obviously get email information from that app as well. Okay. And where will this be then promoted? Well, it'll be promoted across all shows. In week two, well, that's when the SMS and the email database through the app starts to come into play. So promotions that hype up the prizes and drive app downloads. So a potential message might be win big with XFM. Make sure your push notifications for your XFM app are on if you want to get inside info on how to win. The mechanic says XFM app users will receive a push notification on the morning or day of the promotion telling them to open the app competitions page for details about the opportunity to win. And this message will detail what time to tune in and what to listen out for. On the shows, so one execution will happen per day, anytime between the breakfast and the midnight breakfast, which is obviously the 7 to 10. So the listener must wait for a specific comical or slapstick sound effect that they learned about during the digital clue. And that's when they hear it, they're gonna obviously go in, call in, claim their prize, or place in the draw. The winner is one per day and it's entered into that draw. So this will carry on throughout the week. Friday will be a draw. All finalists are placed in the draw, and one name will be drawn. The winner can either take the African experience or choose to go to the final week's draw. In other words, this is going to carry on for a couple of weeks, as we've said before in previous lessons, that activations normally run for an average of 3 weeks, right? And then they can go ahead and they can choose to win the New York experience, right? The New York New Year's Eve party, right? Okay. This individual then wins. Okay, so let's say if they don't win that, they win with the African experience. So that's cool. Okay. All right, week three, the Twitter community. So, how to push, let's say, further online digital interaction promotion to generate the excitement around prizes is driven on Twitter. The potential messaging win big with XFM. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter to get inside info on how to win. The mechanic is easy. XFM will tweet on the morning or day of the promotion with details about the time to tune in and what to listen out for. So the execution will be one per day, any time, should I say, any time between 6 and 10 o'clock. So you can see that the mechanic is kept the same so that the listeners can become familiar with what is going on here, and they know kind of when and how to, let's say, go and do what they need to go do. So the first one was obviously, let's say, just letting them know, like first week I'm saying was letting them know like this is going to be happening, promotion on all social mediums, as well as the landing page, as well as online. On air, should I say, the promotions will obviously run. Week two is about pushing the app itself, the XFM app. Let's say three. So week three will be about, let's say, pushing the Twitter community. And then week 4, so this one carries on for week 4, and week 5 is Facebook, and week 5 will be the final draw. Monday morning, one wildcard winner will be entered into the competition with inside information posted on all platforms. Execution takes place Monday on the afternoon drive. And then on Tuesday morning, one of the 4 finalists that have been entered over the past 4 weeks will win the New York, obviously event prize, right? New York New Year's Eve prize. Okay. I think it is. Yeah, for the new. Let me just hold on a second. Let me just see how quickly that I am saying this correctly in terms of New York experience. Yeah, New Year's Eve, New York experience. Okay, great. All right, so that's the promotion there. You can have a look there. That is obviously laid out for 5 weeks, again, above the average. Just remember when we are talking about promotions, like to do it for 5 weeks, okay? In effect, actually, it really is 3 weeks because the first week was promotions. The last week is about, let's say, obviously announcing the winners and stuff. On average, 3 weeks is long enough. People don't want to get bored. You don't want to keep on doing it, and also to push a listener is quite, I mean, for listeners to listen the whole day, these are big prizes, true. But to listen out, this is going to be a regular listener, a P1 listener that's listening the whole day, is more likely, and maybe it will push a lot of other listeners to say, well, it's not that difficult to listen to the station all day, right? I mean, like, here's my day job. It operates like this. It operates as follows, and it allows me to, let's say, listen in and be part of this competition. Right. Okay. All right. The play along factor. Another factor to keep in mind is to strive to increase the play along factor of any promotion. Now, Tracy Johnson offers the following ways that can be used to ensure that the promotion has a robust and effective play along factor. Well, what is the play along factor? We want to play along with what the other, like the active, let's say, participants are taking part in. I want to take part of the game as well, right? So make it a game, not call in to win, right? In other words, invite participation, game execution, use multiple choice, let them cheat, whatever it is. These are only some examples of how you can, let's say, go and pivot your idea for a contest or whatever it is, and ways to obviously engage the passive audience more so than the active, but at the end, both the active and passive audience, right? All right, we'll look at how to generate revenue by running promotions and competitions. How this type of on-air content is very valuable to advertisers and marketers. Why? Because one, it is there's repetition, right? So we obviously set a little bit of a mindset, like a sublime messaging, a subconscious messaging as well to listeners. If we carry on with this over 3 weeks, all throughout the day, and let's say it's being promoted by Fly SAA, whatever it is, like people are gonna, I don't know, they're gonna start realizing that Fly SAA still exists. It wasn't closed down. They're doing flights to like Rio de Janeiro right now. And there are a couple of great, places like Switzerland, that you can go fly with SAA, and it's really cheap. It's like 14,000 rand to return ticket. That's quite cheap for an international flight, right? Okay, but the thing is that like we obviously the brand, as you said before, will come to the station, want to obviously pay some awareness to their own product and their promotions that they are driving as their own entity, in their own capacity, right? Promotions and competitions improve listener loyalty because listeners stand to be satisfied immediately, right? So either by winning the prize or achieving recognition, let's say on air or online, we're going to give them a little bit of like, hey, how's it going? Whatever it is, and that's always a great thing. Give me a second here. Right, there we go. Sorry, I'm back. Remember to use Fabi, right? Okay, what was Fabi? Right. So I think bold and beautiful, inspiring. I say always forget the F and the B. Fun, and this would be isn't it like an understanding. Anyway, okay, informative, right? Okay, when developing content-based promotions, so, um, just yeah, just me and my short-term memory. So let me try and get this right. Funny, useful, bold, beautiful, and inspiring. Right. Okay. Anyway, right. So putting in Fubby can develop great content-based promotions, as we have seen before in previous lectures. The next step is to look at how much time you will need to execute the promotion in order to achieve the goal set, right? And let's do one more point here, a large scale promotion that utilizes a lot of other types of media. So festivals, concerts, whatever it is, like art exhibitions, community projects, whatever that may be, will require at least 3 months for listeners to commit to buying those tickets as well. And for them to have enough time to actually pay for those tickets, also know that they are available for it. They're going to make themselves available for it. So be careful of how you partner up your idea with something that is an experience. As we've said before, experiences are questionable, right? People like money at the end of the day, but the client sometimes wants a certain experience to be sold or won, right? To promote it. Okay. For smaller promotions, prize giveaways, or talent appearances, you can build 2 or 3 weeks into your plan, and this will be enough time to create hype and ensure that obviously your giveaway moment is still a winning moment at the end of the day, right? Each promotion needs to be linked to how much advertising revenue it will generate, right? Again, that return on investment is something that you will learn obviously in terms of your financial accounting or your business obviously your business management, right? So that you can understand how to properly forecast a return on investment based on like expenses that are obviously going to be incurred, right? The cost of the entire project, right? The cost of the prizes, the fact that you have a certain amount of, let's say, of research data, right? That its partial amount are I can say almost sure wannabes, right? They're surefire winners of people that will gravitate to go and buy, let's say, certain stuff. It's one thing to have people go to a certain site. If we, let's say, obviously use our own site or use our own social media to push them to a take a lot, push them to a hypermarket, push them to a airline, whatever it is. But it also we have to look at, let's say, who we are, let's say, aiming our demographic. Which part of our demographic are we actually aiming these particular, let's say, ads or yeah, these ads, yeah, that we do create. Um, let's say just digitally, right? That it does land someone that is in a certain age group, that they do earn a certain amount of money, that the interests are, let's say, travel and I don't know, bed and breakfasts and countries or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter, right? We'd go and we look at these demographics and we'd say, okay, cool. We also be able to forecast quite an accurate return on investment in many other ways. Also, we might have promised them subscribers, right, to the clients, let's say, email database, etc. Downloading their app, whatever it may be, right? Okay. All right. Again, LinkedIn to the revenue. Okay, because all of that will lead to revenue. Once we push them there, right? Okay, once we push them there, so let's not let's say blatantly open up and make them say you have to go and buy something. Give us the receipt number. Sometimes a lot of promotions actually do that, right? So that we can guarantee revenue being incurred by the client themselves, right? We can just also just push them to the site, and the site needs to do the rest by telling. We can tell them like what specials they can get. And they can go now, and they've got to obviously go and view at least some of the 5FM bouquet, or like, you know what I'm saying, like a basket, like a basket case of items that you can get today for like 50% off from, then we say this particular vendor's name. I don't know. Right. Okay. Every promotion should have a price tag attached to it for the client. No amount of detail is too much in the plotting of the promotion. Absolutely not. So we want to be able to also make sure that our planning for our promotions also have contingency plans, right? In case different things might not go right while we are executing or we are rolling out the promotion. Every on-air moment should be planned out with a checklist, and this ensures the promotion goes according to what was promised to the client. Okay. All right. When it comes to competition packages, one, it should be in three segments: pre-competition promotion, the on-air promotion itself, or on now promotion, and then the post-competition promotion. What are each one of these things? The pre-competition promotion, and this is something that while we go through, you'll see you're familiar with, right? Again, it's about all the planning. It's about what it is that we're going to be drawing up in terms of live reads and pre-recorded promos for online and on air, whatever it may be, right? It includes approximately a week of short live reads, pre-recorded promotions that project forward to the week, right, of the competition. This is going to build, or obviously, audience awareness. It's going to get them to start subscribing, following, sharing, whatever it is, interacting. Every competition moment is also pre-screened to keep the content flowing and to ensure that participants are ready to participate. Right? Okay. So callers are pre-screened to prepare them for being contacted by the station. Like I said to you in a previous anecdote of mine, like the producer's job is to be able to go and look at those finalists, go and tell them that they are finalists, that they could be called at a certain time, and that they have to answer their phones, otherwise they will lose the opportunity to win, let's say, a prize, right? Okay. We'll also make sure that they are in a quiet area, that they are in a good reception area, etc., etc. And obviously that they do meet, let's say, the TNCs of the competition. Certain products and services require radio stations to pre-screen people for their validity and legitimacy. There we go, right? We also want real people. So some people that have won competitions before, obviously, as you know, cannot enter competitions for 3 months. So we'd have to obviously check like the information that they're giving us, because the thing is, our systems can actually check for, let's say, valid IDs and whatever it is. And so the thing is, they mustn't give us a false ID or whatever it is. They could give us their sisters. We wouldn't know any better. Um, and put that in. But at the end of the day, then the sister ones, quote unquote, according to our books. Anyway, ensure that you have secured prizes before you begin the competition, please. So no promises, no empty promises. Are there any promotions? So that when the DJs and everything else come together, the actual week of the competition or weeks, so promotions should be running on air to encourage people who have entered unsuccessfully to try and again and to keep trying and like send more and more and more. You can keep entering, don't enter just once, whatever it is. Here's the competition entry process where you execute that on air, and the relevant shows that obviously have been time stamped throughout the marketing plan for this particular promotion. And the on now campaign period, right, is usually supported by both the radio stations and the client's social media and web platforms. Right, so if we look at the post, what happens after the competition? What are we going to do? Right, if a competition has been particularly successful, caused a lot of hype, the station will often package the highlights to make sure that we have like a little bit of an extra like an extra for our clients. We love winning moments. So definitely also while the competition carries on, we do have some winners. We can definitely put them in donut promos and then have that as a way of promoting the competition throughout the day. We'll schedule throughout uh, our traffic department. When I say traffic department, I mean for advertising and sales, right? Okay, and placing those particular billboards and adverts and live reads within our show. Anyway, okay, point is that we can package as highlights to promote the show throughout, promote the competition throughout the week and throughout the day. This provides exposure and relevant brand association for the client. It also shows the listeners how the station will reward them. Post-competition promos should last a few days and then let it be. It's over, like it's done. Because the thing is that what we don't need to know more about it. It's finished. We can't win anything else from it. And so we utilize, we end the life cycle effectively. Yeah. Right, last three slides. So throughout all three phases, there'll be a generic 30-second spot that will run to support the promotion. Definitely, again, a mix of promotions, so fixed pre-produced ads, so produced ads. We'll have billboards, definitely. We'll have winner billboards, I could say, winner billboards that are running through the competition or in the competition when it happens. And then we'll obviously have live reads, right, that are written from our copy department, sent down to us, and obviously like scheduled in. The station will have a plan up to a certain value that they will offer the client as part of the competition package. So the client can communicate their brand messaging throughout the day, right? So normal live reads, they don't always have to be about the competition, right? Might add just normal live reads about the product or the client. All right, and then obviously, like they like that, we want that a full package always works much better for clients. You know, at the end of the day, they will spend more money with you if they are buying packages than if they do individual spots. To summarize, the elements that should be used in competition packagings are pre-competition, on now competition, post-competition, right? Competition requirements, the live on now execution, interviews if relevant, generic spots, as I mentioned just in the previous slide, and then digital support, web banners, competition pages, digital entry forms, tweets, posts, shares, likes, etc. So use any one of the following promotions on this one. It's the age old one. It's the one that I actually I've used before, right? And analyze it for its play along factor. Let's go back. Remember the play along factor, right? From Tracy Johnson. Like, look at the play along factor and see whether, like, where does it mix and match any one of these particular criteria. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. See you in the next lesson.